Hey guys, so I'm just to make it short, I'm just going to go straight to the you get it. So the first equation here, f of x, which is y, when is equal to, so y is equal to -3 and x is less than or equal to -1. So for that, I'm going to take, I'm going to take the long line. The long line is this one that's flickering on down here, long line, because it's going to move from -1 to infinity. All right, so y -3 down here, then x is less than or equal to -1. I'm just going to put my point there and drag it down. It needs to, you can see the line has to come out of the graph. All right, I'm not going to put any notation yet, all right, because something is still going to cross through there and cancel out. So the next equation is x, so y, f of x, which is y, is equal to 2x minus 1. So that form is just simply y is equal to mx plus b. So right, f of x is y, and then your mx is 2x, so your slope is 2. So then -1 is your b there. All right, so now we look for -1 is b, which is the y-intercept. We look for that here. Okay, our slope is 2, so 2, that will be 2 over 1. That's rise over run. All right, so -1, we go up twice. So from -1 we go up 1, 2, and then we move to the right once. All right, so we have our point there. Okay, now we have to use the short line. Okay, we have to use the short line. I was on the long line before. The short line is here because it's going to come down into this line we've already drawn here. All right, so I'm going to use the short line. So from -1 again on the y-axis, -1 we go up twice because our slope is 2. So 1, 2, and we move to the right one. So put our point there, and then the next thing here, we have x is less than or equal to -1. So -1 is on the x-axis is here. So we're going to need to drag our line down. We're going to need to drag our line down to -1 here. Okay, so if you can see, using the shorter line, it just fits in very well. All right, so we have the next thing here, x is less than or equal to +2. Okay, x is less than or equal to +2. So so on the y-axis, we're still on the y-axis. We have to see on the x-axis rather, this point we have here already, it needs to be on +2. So we have to just simply go back to the y-intercept we did here. Okay, we go from the y-intercept here, we go up 1, 2, right, and then we move to the right 1. So for us to get to +2, x is less than or equal to +2, we need to just simply do the same thing we did. We need to just go up 1, 2, and then to the right 1. All right, and then we drag our point down to that place. Okay, so now x is on +2 here. All right. Okay, so simply what I did again, I went back to the y-intercept. I went up. Our slope is 2, so it's 2 over 1. So you're going to rise twice, and then you're going to go down once. You're going to go to the right once. I beg your pardon. So 1, 2, right? We go here from -1, 1, 2 to the right 1. So we just do the same thing. For us to get to positive, now we're on +1, but we just need to get to +2. So we go up twice again, 1, 2, again to the right 1. So now we're on +2. All right. So there we're going to need to have a closed circle because x is less than or equal to +2. So this is this there. All right. Okay. So next one is f of x, which is y. When y is equal to 0, x is greater than 2. Okay, so x greater than 2. Now we have to use the long line. Okay, we can't use the short line here. So short line, we have to use the long line because from 2 it's going to go to infinity. All right, so we put our point there. Remember, the long line is down here, so we put our point on +2 rather, on the x-axis, and we draw it down. Put it again, draw it down. Okay, it's down out now. So now it's just greater than 2, so it's going to be an open circle. All right, so that's it there. So remember, if you notice, for the first equation, we didn't put any notation on these two lines we drew because x is less than or equal to -1, and then for the next equation, x was just less than -1. So the 2 points actually meet on -1. but the first one is less than or equal to. The next one is just less than. So less than cancels out less than, and we're just left with equal to. So the lines become equal at -1. Okay. I hope you got the the way I use the long lines and the short lines. For the long lines, like you have x, the last equation, x is greater than 2. It moves from 2 to infinity. So you have to use the long line so your line gets out of the graph. Okay. And for that first one, we did -3, and x is on when y is -3, x is less than or equal to -1. It moved from -1 down to infinity. Okay, so we had to use the long line there and make sure our line got out of the graph. Okay, but we only used the short line when we had to do had to draw from x's from x from we had to do we had to calculate that from our y-intercept -1. We moved up twice and then to the right. Then we also moved up again to get to +2. Okay, so we had to use the short line there from drawing from there to the other line here down on x is less than or equal to -1, just so that it actually fits in. If we use the longer line, it will just come out of the graph, and that will be wrong. So we had to use the short line just so that both of them can be equal at x is less than -1. Okay, so I'm sure going over the explanation, you would notice the both of them meeting at -1, and why they just need to be equal. The less than sign canceling out. All right, I trust that's helpful. So yeah, just go over it again if you don't understand. I'm sure you get it. All right, have fun. Okay, yeah, let's see if we're right. Okay, yeah, that's true. Let's see if we're right. Okay, absolutely, we are correct. Okay, so the graph is correct using the short lines appropriately and the long lines appropriately. So I hope that's helpful. Thanks.